Man, what's going on, everyone? Slide here with Flo. And man, dude, I'm loving me some Sean Salisbury, man, because he's calling out everybody and he's really going after ESPN. And earlier on his show, he was talking about Ryan Clark, and then he goes on Sacramento's show and he's ripping Ryan Clark. And I love it, man, because Ryan Clark's someone, I couldn't stand as a player just because he was always going dirty shots and then knocking himself out every time. And you had such a great safety next to him in Palomalu, and then you had this scrub who was dirty and then just sucked. And he's like a big old wokester. So it's awesome hearing Sean Salisbury going after him for ripping Brock Purdy, then becoming friends with him again, or whatever the heck it was. But check this out, man.
If you manage a game now, if you can never make an open deep ball throw, I don't call you a game manager. I just call you a guy who can't make the big play under pressure. You want me to go through the names that are sitting at home that do that on a regular basis in January? I can name that group too. So I don't know where this comes. It's a lazy, let me go, when in doubt, let's go to he's just a game manager. Well, isn't it amazing how some of those guys on ESPN, and you know who I'm talking about,
Yep.
went from the guy Brock Purdy as a hack, when I've been trying to tell you for 2 years the guy could play, so is a hack to this year or this week, what a player. He single-handedly carried the 49ers. Brock Purdy's been doing, he did it the week before, even though the numbers weren't the same. I do believe there was a fourth quarter drive that managed the game into a trip to the NFC Championship game. I'll tell you what, the diarrhea of the mouth I continue to hear from some of these guys making seven figures makes me want to throw up in my mouth. You know what? Study your craft, do what you did as a player, and do it as an analyst. Brock Purdy should take game manager or system guy as a great compliment, and a guy who's got a chance to beat the best player in the world, Patrick Mahomes.
Ryan Clark. Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
As we're talking with
who?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
There's a long line. There's a long line of guys that feel the same way. But you know what? Here's what I do know: that the guys that some of them love will be either buying a ticket to a game or watching this week while Brock Purdy's dressing in the locker room, getting ready to play. And here's how they talk out of both sides of their damn mouth. Hey, with those players, who can't? Yet when you have those players and you don't, it's never the quarterback's fault, right?
Nope.
And you think about that. A guy throws a red zone interception who is a great player and had a great regular season in Lamar Jackson in the AFC Championship game. There were three dudes. You could not have walked the ball out there and handed it to a receiver without somebody knocking it down. But that's, if he'd had one more player, just one more hesitation. I get what he's doing. I understand why Dan Campbell, he's done it all year. Well, this is a championship game. You got to do something else sometimes. So, yeah, that's my favorite. Well, he's got McCaffrey, and he's got Debo, and he's got Kittle, and all these great players. Yet, Brady had Gronkowski and Moss, and Breeze had Michael Thomas and some great players. Mahomes has got the greatest receiving tight end, and will go down in history as the greatest receiving tight end ever. And he had Tyreek Hill, and he's got the best play caller in the world, other than maybe Kyle Shanahan in the NFC, and Andy Reid. So now we're punishing guys. Joe Montana's not any good because Jerry Rice, right? Roger Craig.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. We can't give Elway any credit because the only reason John was any good is because Terrell Davis.
That's right.
My point is everybody needs everybody. And then we get mad at the GM who doesn't draft great players. And then when he does draft great players, we punish the quarterback because he actually knows how to get the ball to the great player's hands. Once again, you lose instant credibility with me when you tell me the only reason Brock Purdy is successful is because he's got good players. I don't care who you are or what you did on the field. If you said or on a radio show and tell me that, your credibility goes out the window. And from now on, you're nothing more than white noise to me because you don't study your craft. And when I hear somebody say, well, would he be any good on Carolina? No, but guess what? Mahomes ain't taking Carolina to the playoffs either. Right. And that's Superman. So the point is you've got to have good players. That's why you build it. And then you hope that quarterback can maximize them like the other guys. I applaud Brock Purdy for his game and for what he's done and for how he's elevated his play. Who knows how it's going to end this year? But do you think that Purdy's numbers and Josh Allen or any of the playoff quarterbacks, do you think Purdy's numbers are going to fare well, if not better than damn near all of them? They are. So if you're looking for gaudy numbers, he's got those too. I can tell you again, if he was a first-round draft pick and was 6'5", 220, we would not be talking about this. Look at the play he made to Kyle Juszczyk.
Yep.
When he scrambled, wheeled out and threw it, going across his body, going to his left. and hit him on the sideline for a first down. If Josh Allen or Justin Herbert or Lamar Jackson make that play, it's the lead for 4 straight hours on SportsCenter. Brock Purdy made it, and you ain't seen that highlight once on national TV.
No.
There's your narrative. He doesn't fit the big physical thrower bill. All he does is win. And for the first 2 years starting in the NFL, Brock Purdy's put up legendary performances, or numbers, should I say. I'll take him any day of the week, even though he doesn't throw it 100 yards. He throws it to the right guy. I can't wait to see him on Super Bowl Sunday.
All right, dude. So he's out there pretty much talking about all these ESPN dudes that get paid so much money, 7 figures, just to talk crap, and just not do their research pretty much. So he's someone, obviously, that watches a lot of film, played at USC, was in the NFL for 10 years, was on your favorite movie of all time, The Longest Yard and Benchwarmers. But what do you think about all this, man? Sean pretty much is ripping on these media heads.
Yeah, man, I like what he said, obviously, because it's just gotten to the point where it just doesn't even make any sense anymore. First, let's go start with the Ryan Clark thingy, though, because this guy, man, he is the biggest flip-flopper in the world, man. The only guy who might be more of a flip-flopper is D, just because some days he's riding with some guys, and then the next day he's freaking at halftime hitting you up. Hey, man, what the hell's going on? Like, dude, relax, roll with who you roll with, It's kind of like if you got, like, a group of friends, and there's that one guy who freaking, when things get rough, he dips, he runs, and he takes off, You don't want people like that riding with you. So Ryan Clark, I don't want this guy back on the Brock Purdy bandwagon, the Niner bandwagon. He did that last time we get to the Super Bowl too. He was not going for us, and he started riding with us. He brought that bad luck to us. So, stay on the other side, man. Don't even think about that. And then Sean Salisbury talking about the rest of the media too. He's completely right, man. All these guys are voicing, obviously everything's opinion-based, but still, back then, at least they had research kind of to back things up, what they were saying. Now they don't even do that part of the game. Because obviously you got guys like Stephen A. Smith. We talked about, was it Hunter?
Hunter Henry?
Hunter Henry.
He didn't know what the hell's going on,
Yeah, so, it's all bad nowadays. Like, sometimes they don't even, know who's on what team. So it's rough out there. And, I agree with this guy. And it makes sense because this guy, he had to actually put in the work when he was on the come up. Nowadays, it doesn't even matter. You got your Nick Wrights who are just kind of imitation Skip Baylesses, where they just want to kind of sell that negativity, because obviously it worked out for Skip Bayless. Let's be real, but still, even him, at least he did his research a little bit. He had some facts,
but he's still crazy, though.
But he just had wild-ass takes. But, I agree with Sean Salisbury. I love this take.
Yeah, man. Sean Salisbury, 100% right. Ryan Clark, he does all of his, he does podcasts. They all do podcasts too. So they're not even watching the film. They're doing their other stuff that they have to do. So they're not watching the film at all. So he's doing his little woke agenda, other videos on his podcast. So he's not watching the film, which that's what he's 100% nails it right there, that these dudes are not doing their research. It's weak, and they're just getting paid millions of dollars. You thought the mainstream media was bad. Now the sports mainstream media is even worse, it seems like, these days, man. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Always hating on him. And he's 100% right, man. That throw that he did where he broke a tackle, ran to his left, threw it to a use check. Man, if that, and he even said it right. If it was Lamar Jackson doing that, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, they would be showing that play over and over and over again. But because Brock Purdy and ESPN, did they even show that play? Like, they didn't even show. They put up on the highlights, but it's not the top 10 play. They don't show any of that crap. So any of that good stuff, excuse me. But you're right, man. It's kind of like, remember back in and first of all, Rick, do never fight. But remember, D's boy had a buddy. Every time there was something that went down, his ass ran. Little B, right? Yeah. Little B, baby. This guy ran like the cowardly lion. So that's kind of reminds me of Ryan Clark. Someone that just 1 second, I'm with you, I'm with the guys, and the next second, he's bailing like Lil B. So, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Absolutely insane what's going on here. But that's just the mainstream media. There's no accountability for what you say anymore. In the 90s, that's, I think, when the media, especially ESPN, man, that wasn't the glory days. Even early 2000s, they would actually do research. Now, it's just about clicks, man. That's what it's about. And I'm just glad that someone out there, even though he's not mainstream like he used to be, because Sean Salisbury used to be like one of the faces of ESPN, actually, when it was good. And he would he would call out players that deserve to be called out. Now, it just doesn't happen, man. If they have their favorite dudes, like a Lamar Jackson, dude, wipe it under the rug, man. It's not a big deal. But if Brock Purdy does that, dude, it's all over. That's last week. That's what it was. Colin Cowherd ripping Brock Purdy. Obviously, you got the Nick Wrights and stuff. The Ryan Clark. All of a sudden, I like him, but I lied. I was so wrong. Shut the hell up, man. There's a reason why your ass always got knocked out, because you were nothing but a scrub. So it is what it is, man. That right there kind of it pisses me off, but I guess you gotta laugh about it sometime, though.
Yeah, and for Nick Wright, at least give him credit. He does stay on the same
and he's
side.
funny. He's
funny,
yeah.
But it's the guys like Ryan Clark, Colin Cowherd, who one day
changes his mind.
Yeah, exactly. They'll change their mind pretty much like a chick, you know? No offense to you chicks out there, but man, you know, like one day they're with you, they're riding with you, the next day they're dipped, and then it's like, okay, all right, I see how you really operate, you know? So obviously, that's what it reminds me of, to be honest. And I'm like, all right, so I can't take these guys seriously, because then they're going to be praising these guys and saying, nah, you weren't with us at the beginning. You weren't, like Drake, Kobe said, you weren't with me in the gym. When we were struggling, you weren't there with me. So, you know, now you can't be a part of the group, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, dude, that's just so embarrassing. Like, how in the hell can you go to work? You know, last week you said something else, and then you come in, and then the next week I say something. That reminds me, do you remember the boxer, the Top Rank, the old timer, Bob Arum?
Oh, yeah.
He had the famous quote, one of the most famous quotes out there. I was lying yesterday, but I'm telling the truth today. That's what it is, man. These guys are like Bob Arum, man, the snake in the grass that say, oh, I'm telling the truth today, but yesterday I was lying. How could you believe that? And Sean Salisbury said it best, man. All it is right now is white noise. That's all it is. These guys talking, it's white noise. Don't believe anything they say, because it's absolutely baloney, man.
Yeah, or besides just white noise, it's bulletin board material. This Niner team, man, they love taking things personally, you know? They like having that motivation to get them to that next step, you know? This last week, I was telling you, man, that Gardner Johnson talk from the offseason, I knew Debo was eventually going to start exploding. Second half, actually after that cheap shot, I think he remembered, he's like, okay, now I got to get mine. And we just started destroying them after that. The Eagles game came in the all-black outfits. So this team, I love it because they're all together. The camaraderie, it's not just one person. Like I said, everybody has each other's back. So this is great, because this is just a little bit more bulletin board material for that big game coming up.
Yeah, and they're all in on Brock Purdy. Everyone is all in on Brock Purdy. I remember when Rex Grossman's going, even the players with me, yeah, man, we have good Rex and bad Rex. Like they knew it, man. They knew exactly what they got. But with Purdy, man, after that game, they were just, all of them were just like, yeah, dude, like we wouldn't have won it without him. Like, he is the man. Chase Young the other day said he's the best quarterback in the NFL, and he has to be, because come on, Chase, you can't be your lazy ass out there. We wouldn't have won it without Brock Purdy. You gotta step it up, Chase. Come on, you got to. But that's for another video.
Yeah,
but
and then Fred Warner also came. He's like, how about that game manager?
Yeah, exactly.
The game? So you could tell all these guys are taking it. They might even take it more personally than Brock Purdy.
It seems like they do, man. It seems like they rally around him.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we're gonna do it because this guy is out there doing his thing, and all that BS talk. It's BS, man. And I love Sean Salisbury just calling out this BS media.
All right, well, you guys let us in the comment what you guys think about Sean Salisbury's take. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. See y'all next time.
Peace.